and short agenda. We'll call the meeting together, we'll call a meeting to order at 6:03. We have a new clock, I think.
Yeah.
On January 2nd, 2018. A motion to adopt the agenda?
With one correction.
What's that?
Under 8 should be personal, not personal.
Oh, okay.
The other thing, we have minutes to December 19th too.
Oh, that's right, and I didn't know that, so, okay. We haven't added that to
And,
it.
Do we have those?
Yeah, I do.
I don't. You don't have them?
and Kim gave, oh yeah, the date of the next meeting is not February 22nd either.
Is it, isn't it?
Hmm?
You said it's 22nd, isn't it?
Not February. January.
Oh, January.
Well, that's what we
Well-
thought, yeah, we thought that was a typo.
Well, I did too, but then, yeah, right.
And then Kim gave me a price about the tile for the bathroom
Oh,
at
okay.
the town hall.
You want to add that on there at,
Under other business.
other business?
I
Yeah, we'll do it on the business. All right, so, all in favor of the amended agenda?
So,
So that will be January 26th.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. I guess I'll put it on the wrong calendar. The minutes. Okay, we need a motion to adopt the minutes of December 18th and December 19th. December 19th was a special meeting that we had on the budget.
I don't have those. I didn't get those.
Okay. Did you send them out, Cynthia, to everybody?
They were
I
in
think I just
boxes.
copied,
Because they were on the, when I checked the emails, they were there, and I printed them out. I don't know whether they were sent to everybody or not.
Yes.
I looked in my box, it wasn't anything in my box.
No, I didn't put it in the box, but I assumed that Cynthia sent them out.
and maybe I didn't. No, I can't find them here.
But they're right here, you want them? You want
I've got them
to?
somewhere.
Did you get the 18th?
Remember, I gave them to you to
Stan?
copy.
I got the 18th. yeah.
Did you get the 18th?
What'd you do? You
Yeah.
kept them on me?
Okay. So why don't I read you the 19th, so we'll know,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
The select board present was myself, Alan, Stan Mack, and Cynthia. And absent was Ron. The community's members present was Lisa Kissel, Carol Lynn, Bob Donald, and Sam Baglino. And the final budget review, board went over the expenditures and revenue, motion to raise $26,000 for the Grafton Fire Department. Polio second, Mac passed. Polio made the motion, Mac seconded, it passed. Motion to raise $5,000 for the Grafton Library, Gibbs seconded, Gibbs, Polio second, passed. It was decided that the deadline for the administrative assistant would be December 28th, 2017. Gibbs will check with Fred at Sullivan Powers about reserving highway funds. Meeting adjourned at 11:10. Okay, if that
Make the motion, we approve both minutes as written.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, pre-town meeting date is the 27th of February. It's been confirmed by the school. We're just waiting for the school board to confirm that date. I'm assuming they will, and I think it will be 6 o'clock, I guess. Something like that. So that's the pre-town meeting date. The town hall update, Stan?
What was that again? I was,
February 27th.
27th. will be
February
pre-town
27th.
It's pre-town, yeah.
At 6.
At 6 o'clock,
At the
and the school board has yet to confirm, but I'm sure they'll be okay. We have to have it 10 days prior to, before the town meeting, so.
Okay, the town hall roof update, a request for proposal has been sent out, at least at this point, to, I'm trying to think, either 5 or 6 contractors. Have a meeting tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock at the town hall with at least one is confirmed. There may be a second to go over the work tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And so at this point, we are progressing. We have a request for proposal is out and has been sent. The only thing we have to do is kind of make up our mind one way or another if we want to advertise in the paper for additional proposals. It is somewhat of an expensive proposition to do. Might be worthwhile to advertise. I would have to see what the rest of the board thinks. But anyway, that's where we are right now. The request for proposal has been drawn up and sent out.
I was checking with Kim, and I had forgotten that we do have a town of Grafton bidding policy that was approved back in '01, amended in '04, and then amended in 2014. And the policy says all contracts and purchases that meet the above threshold are required to be sealed bids. The board will determine if the bid needs to be advertised. It's not mandated. It's at the board's discretion. So the question is, since we have 6 or 7 people interested, it does get expensive. I think we were hoping to get some monetary dollars so that at pre-town meeting for the warrant about reserving $100,000 for the town hall and $100,000 for the Walker Bridge, we would be able to speak intelligently of what the cost would be. And by the bidding process, it's going to really make it a problem because it's going to be almost a month. So the board has to decide whether or not we want to advertise or not. That's the first thing we need to do. And it's a discretionary upon the board. I feel you don't have to, but that's just me. So if somebody wants to make a motion and you want to discuss it, we have the option to do either or.
I have a question first. Tomorrow's meeting at 10 o'clock, is that a warrant meeting? You and Cynthia are the committee.
You did get my email.
Yeah.
And so if I wanted to come to that meeting at 10 o'clock, we'd have a quorum.
Just stay 5 feet away.
You could come as an individual, I think, as long as you don't.
Interested.
So it's not warrants what you're doing?
It's not one. No, it was originally just the two of us. You didn't get back to me, so I wasn't sure if you were going to show up or even if you got the email, so I didn't know where we sat with that, so.
I did call. But I don't know if that was after.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So originally it was going to be the two of us, and I thought maybe it was just me, and now it is going to be the two of us, so.
Cynthia, will you be there tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So the question is, what do we want to do? Do we want to exercise the necessary to bid, or since we have 6 or 7 people that are coming anyway, or perhaps we'll come?
Well, I kind of said what I thought, maybe it got lost in everything else, but I do think I don't know, I know what you're saying, and I understand, but I think it's enough of a process and a substantial cost. We're looking probably a minimum of $30,000 to do that route. I think it might be worthwhile to advertise at least in one of the local papers. That way, at least it does make it legal. I know based on the paragraph 1 there, we don't have to, but I guess I would just feel better about it.
Is it a decision we have to make tonight, or is it a decision that would be better made after tomorrow?
No, a decision should be made tonight so that we can begin the advertising process, because it's 2 weeks at least minimum before we can get by the time we get the bid formulated, and by the time you send it to the paper, then they have their deadlines, which means that you would not be in the paper until sometime in 2 weeks from whatever their deadlines are. So it just delays it.
Because the request for proposal won't change. That'll be available through if we do the advertising in the paper, it'll just say anybody interested, come to the town hall and get your request for proposal, which is exactly the same that was already been emailed out to these other contractors. So it really doesn't change it at all.
Isn't there usually, there's more process to a bid? I thought.
Explain that to me.
Well, you have,
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a whole description here. I'm not going to read it if everybody wants to. It says, all contracts and purchases that meet the above threshold are required to be sealed bids. The board will determine if the bids need to be advertised. If it is determined that the invitation for bid is needed, it will be published in a newspaper of record or other publications if needed. The IBF will contain general description of the service or products required if a bid deposit or a performance bond is required, where any additional information can be obtained. And at the time of the date of the bid opening, the bidder's liability insurance, documentation, and workman's comp, if applicable, is required to be enclosed within the sealed bid. The IBF will be approved by the Board of Selectmen before publication. That's the requirement. Then it goes on to how the bids are opened and performances and all that.
But usually there's a packet that they get.
Yes.
Is there any packets made up?
No,
Well, you'll have to tell me, what do you want in a packet? We have the request for proposal that specs out the sheathing, the type
Well,
of roof, the type of windows, manufacturer of windows.
You have that?
That's in that request for proposal, yeah.
That's in this that you
Well, I don't
sent
know
me?
what you're looking at, but it is in the
This is
request for
just what
proposal.
was on the computer,
Okay,
but there's something else,
nope.
and this is it. This doesn't say anything about what kind of windows to use, or what kind of roofing you're gonna use. It seems like it's sort of a outline that there should be more to it than that.
What's the date on that?
12/19.
That's the last one.
I thought Bill Badger was gonna write up something.
Part of that is,
Well, I would think, I don't know, it just seems
well,
pretty vague.
I kind of wish you had emailed me back.
I did ask you,
Um,
but
You said this went to 6 or 8?
Yeah, I don't have the names, but it went to Kevin Hazeltine, John Halleck, Jansowitz Roofing, Darlton Sinet, Severance in Saxon's River. And there was your guy never got back to me, that name that you thought.
Michael.
I called him, and then there was another one, Michael, and he never got back to me. Those are the 6.
And have you had correspondence back from those folks
With 3 of them,
that are interested?
yes.
And the other 3 or 5
Haven't heard.
may or may not
May or may not get
show
back,
up.
exactly. Right. You can only put the information out there, and if they decide not to respond to it, that's,
What if you had the meeting tomorrow and see how that goes, and we call a special meeting just to discuss this? It seems like after tomorrow, you have a better idea of whether.
well, I mean,
we need to
these 2
advertise
or
more.
3 that are just gonna look at it, and then they're gonna establish, they're gonna get their plan together of how they think they wanna do it, and then what they think it's gonna cost. So, I mean, it's probably 2 weeks away to get the, numbers back from these guys.
how do we know they're all planning on the same thing if we don't have it specified?
Well, again, I think it says in there.
In this?
Yeah.
Well, the select board has the ability, when the bids come in, if the bids are not the same, then you reject that particular bid. So the bids have to be, they have to be given the direction, but if they fail to bid properly, then you can't.
I kind of see what Cynthia's driving at. I mean, if I put a bid in and I have top quality windows and you put a bid
Well,
in
let me-
and your quality of windows is not the same,
Let-
we're
let
not
me
apples and
read this-
apples and
this-
our numbers don't mean anything.
Let me just read the second paragraph. The town is asking this roof to be reconstructed to a pitch-style shed roof. The reconstruction would require removal and replacement of 3 6/6 double-hung windows and complete removal and fill-in of another window. The 3 new windows shall be awning-style, replicating the upper sash of the existing windows. New windows shall be aluminum or fiberglass clad with wood interior, factory painted white. Acceptable manufacturers are Marvin or Pella, and others on approval.
That gives you the specs.
So
Okay.
that's that.
Okay.
The town hall is a contributing building to the historic district listed in the National Register of Historic Places, and all work must comply to the Secretary of Interior standards. Repoint of existing brickwork with new flashings shall extend at least 3 courses up on the wall. Removal or replacement of existing clapboard and trim to match existing siding and trim, all painted to match existing paint. Insulated exterior walls as needed to meet current Vermont energy regulations. New roof pitch of existing town hall metal standing seam roof. New roof to match existing town hall metal standing seam roof with blind fasteners with L reinforcing ribs for falling snow from above. Supply and install structural members of the new roof pitch, maybe trusses, underlayment as prescribed by the manufacturer and 3/4 tongue and groove roof sheathing. Proper venting of new roof structure, addition of snow and ice stops on upper roof if required. Removal of existing roof if needed to add additional insulation or insulate over rubber roofing using board insulation of proper type and insulation value. Provide shop drawings and submittal for approval before work is done. Supply any and all state or Vermont permits that are required. All work to meet Vermont state fire and safety regulations, Vermont commercial building energy standards. All work on the historic portion of the building must meet the Secretary of Interior standards. All work to be completed in a clean, professional manner and warranty to be free of any defects. And there's a couple smaller ones.
I mean, that's certain to me, it's a bid. I mean,
Now, we can add more. So you let me know by tomorrow morning, whatever you feel as though.
Well, I'm not the expert on it. I
Well, I
thought
know.
Bill Badger was.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna just do it fancier or something.
Well, I really think that in this particular case, I think if you don't like what you got, you can always rebid. But I think it's important for the town meeting to have a number, because you're asking them to take $100,000 and reserve it for the town hall. And if you have a question, what are you going to do with it? Well, we're going to fix the roof. How much is it going to cost? We don't know. You're not going to get it. So I
understand that.
if you want, normally I don't make a motion, but I make a motion that we forego the bidding process for this particular situation and move on with the present people.
The advertising of the
Yeah,
bidding
yes,
process.
yeah. I'll make that motion. If there's a second, fine. If not, we'll go to table.
Well, to me, it's tradition to, advertise. We've always done it. So in a way, I feel we should have.
But we need a second. If there's a second, we can talk about it. So we need a second. If not, then we can keep on.
Oh, there isn't a second, it died.
No, we can keep the discussion.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay, all right, so now discussion.
It seems like if the word is out from these people that we're not going to put it out to bid.
Well, you are putting it out to bid. You're just not advertising the bid in
Yeah,
the
it's
newspaper.
being bid. It's just not being bid.
6 contractors have already received this through email. Those were contractors' names that I've gotten through the town,
Okay.
through Kim, of people that they've used in the past for different things or have come out and looked at other projects. Sam, I don't know who you have dealt with in the past to come down and when you looked at the town hall.
I think one of them was Iron Horse. He might have, I can't remember. I
Yeah.
can't give you an exact answer on that.
I mean, I would be, originally when this happened, I assumed that we needed to put it out for bid. And then Kim said we do have a bidding policy, and the bidding policy is very clear. The board will determine if the bid needs to be advertised. So we have that option. If it said we had to advertise it, you have no choice. So you have an option.
I guess if we sent it to 6 contractors with those specs that you just read, I'm comfortable to proceed.
Any other discussion, Cynthia?
No, I guess we've discussed, we can vote now.
Okay, so let's take a vote. Alan?
Aye.
Joe? Al? Myself? Aye? Aye? Stan?
No.
Cynthia?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we don't have this,
So
I can't break the tie, we have 4, so what's the next step now?
it stays the way it is, right?
We can't, I mean, we gotta do something.
We're gonna have to have a meeting
We'll put it out to bid,
Right.
to advertise.
Yeah.
I make the motion that we advertise.
Well,
You just.
I don't see where that's gonna change anything, but sure, I'll second that.
Well, you're the one that felt we should advertise.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not gonna change it. We're gonna,
Well, maybe the other guys will.
okay. So we got a motion on the floor now, or
Do we
well,
have-
Joe should make the motion.
All right.
You should announce it.
No, we have a motion on the floor that we will put the bids out for, and put out the product for bid. However, Cynthia, what happens to the meeting tomorrow?
I don't know.
Do we cancel it?
No.
Well,
I don't see.
How can you have a
Well, we don't
meeting
have a
if you
second, we
have
don't have a
a
second on this yet anyway, so I'll
No.
second this.
So let me get clear on this. If we're gonna put this out to bid, these folks that come tomorrow are gonna get a chance to look at the project.
They've already
and-
received the package.
But they've had the package.
Yes.
Now they're actually gonna come to
So
the site.
they actually have a package.
They have
They have that piece
that.
of paper.
Yes.
That's the package.
Correct. And so then they're gonna come in, they're gonna look at the site, walk around, touch, feel, measure if they want.
Yep.
They're gonna have a better idea. Then we're gonna, if I understand what's gonna happen, then we're gonna advertise.
No.
I mean, we're gonna,
Originally, they were gonna give us a bid, but you
Tomorrow.
rejected that. No, not tomorrow, whatever it
No,
was.
no.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it took them to do that.
Well, we could give them the,
But that was voted down. So now you have a new motion on the floor which says you want to advertise. So my question to you is that's fine, then we'll do the advertising, but what are you going to do about the people that are coming tomorrow?
can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the folks that will come tomorrow will have a leg up or initiative, well, they will. They will have seen it. They've seen the project, walk through, ask questions. They're gonna take that information and go back and prepare their bid,
Sure.
okay? So if we advertise more in the paper and there's some more names that come out, then we're gonna do another walkthrough
Yeah.
for those
Yep.
people.
Yep.
So
And they will
they-
see
so they
exactly
can
the
see the
same
same
thing.
thing.
Yes.
And then at some point in time, both of the groups, the first group and the second group, if there is a second group,
Or third.
then they will put together what
Yes.
their bid is.
Exactly.
But then
So
you-
nobody has a leg up.
But you have
Well,
to, wait a minute, but you have to tell the people who are coming tomorrow that we are now going to advertise for other people, because they need to understand that. Because it's unfair if you don't. Okay?
They have a leg up in a way that they, if they want, they could come back and look at it the second time.
That's exactly
You can come
right.
back and anybody can come back and look at it, sure.
But so it isn't an advantage, but they might be better prepared.
Darlton Sinet is also on this bid list. He's called me. He said he's very interested in doing it. He's seen it 4 times already.
Correct.
Because he's the one that helped us with the grant process.
Correct.
So I don't see where, if just because we advertise, that it changes the circumstances one bit.
It doesn't, but you need to tell these people
Oh,
that,
sure.
we did change the policy and there's gonna be other people
well,
who
we
are gonna,
didn't
it's gonna
change
be a
it,
formal
we're
bid.
sort of more going by the policy.
Well, whatever, but that they need to understand that you know, it's gonna be put out now as an advertisement. And they might
That
not
we
want
have to advertise.
Yes.
We can
Well-
say we have to.
We don't have
We
to.
don't have to.
Well, I feel we have to.
Well, that's why it was voted down. So now the question is, we have a motion on the table to advertise for the bid.
I don't know why this is so complicated.
I don't either. I will have to tell you that the next meeting is the 24th
22nd, which is a
It's
long
It's the
way away.
22nd, and you're gonna have, these bids have to be in prior to the special town, the pre-town meeting, otherwise you will not have the numbers.
Has time.
I'm assuming you do, not assuming you don't, but
That's pretty tight.
it's a pretty tight schedule.
For,
And I will tell you this, that if you don't, then you can forget about the $100,000 for the town hall for reserve to pass, because it's not going to pass.
May I ask a
Don't be-
question, please?
Sure, go ahead.
What do the original bidders, the 6 firms who have the package now, what is their understanding of the due date of the bid?
I don't have that, but it was in there. I think it was January 18th or something like
I
that.
don't remember seeing any due date.
It was like January 18th.
Because
Where?
every bidder would then have to have the same
That was in the
due
original
date,
email that went to the contract.
Right, if you
Oh, I didn't
advertise
see
all the
the
bidders.
email.
Well, it wasn't advertised, and I don't know what it wasn't formally advertised. I don't know what the actual
I don't think it
bid
was
date
done.
was. It doesn't really make any difference if their bid date was at the 18th, and then you had to rebid it again. You couldn't open all the bids until the last bid was in. So they would have to wait. That's how I would have to look at it, because if you don't do that, then there'd be a certain advantage.
gotta be all at once.
So, even though that if they were given a deadline, then they would remain sealed until the new deadline of the new bidders came in.
I understand, thank you.
So we have a motion on the table to advertise for the project in a newspaper as per the option we have in the bidding policy. Any other discussion? All right, Alan?
It seems a piece of information we have now or that wasn't discussed before might make a difference in people's original vote. And that is when you look at the timeline of having the contractors come, look at it, prepare their bid, get it back to us, and have a number that we can bring to town meeting. I think by backing it up, that makes it really tight to make that all come together in time for town meeting. And we didn't discuss that before we took that first vote. To me, that's a valuable piece of information we didn't talk about before that vote.
Okay, well, we do have a motion on the table.
I know, but
I
we
understand.
can vote this down and go back to the
Absolutely,
original.
you can. Yeah, you can. So the question is, how do you vote for the motion on the table where one made by Cynthia, and who seconded
I
it?
did.
Stan seconded, and moving on with the bid, and that was, there's so many things here, that were to advertise the bid. So now the question is, do you want to advertise it, yes or no?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes. I said yes. I want to
Yes.
advertise it, yes.
Okay, so we're back to the same square, we have 2 and 2.
Well, you can say yes.
He doesn't want to.
I don't want to say that.
Well, you didn't say, did you vote last time?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so you said yes last time?
No, I said yes, and I said no this time, yes. Yes, please.
So I'm just thinking, I understand that the policy leaves this to the board's discretion, but I'm thinking since we're talking about a lot of money and townspeople are interested in knowing how the town government spends money, and this will be discussed at town meeting, I would think that townspeople would be more comfortable if there was an open process, meaning open advertising, versus just privately approaching this contractor and that contractor. And also, I'm thinking our auditor, I don't know if the auditors get involved in these questions, but if I was an auditor of the town, talking about the amount of money we're talking about, I would think that there's a comfort level if this was an open public process versus private phone calls to this contractor and that contractor.
Well, I don't think we're going to get involved in it,
Yeah.
and we're not violating,
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting we should or shouldn't, but
I
we're not
know you're
violating the
not
policy.
violating, but I'm thinking from a townsperson's point of view, there is a little bit of a lack of transparency in the process, in spending town money if it's not done through open means. I would be a little concerned about that.
Okay, so we have somewhat of a dilemma here because we can't seem to get off first base, and time is running, and I'm going to assure the board here that if you don't have a legitimate bid or price for the thing, for the restoration of the roof and whatever else has to be done, it will not, the warrant will not pass reserving the $100,000, this I will type.
I don't think, why you feel that way when you have written, it has been written in the town and the Grafton News, what needs to be done, and I think people can see what needs to be done, and there's sensible people in Grafton, and I don't think it will be voted at.
That's your opinion, Cynthia, and I disagree, but
You're living.
people are going to question it.
You aren't living.
Look, this town hall thing's been going on for 24 years. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but nothing has been really brought up, anything to be done that I know of. That's why I got on the board, because I wanted to, Sam started something, but then it sort of went, and I think it can carry on. So if you feel that way, then you should vote yes to
I
have
did
it
vote yes.
advertised. You're the one holding it up.
No, I'm not, Cynthia. I voted yes to continue with 6 or 7 people.
But I don't think that's fair.
Okay.
So it is what it is right now. Let's talk about what's next. So we have the meeting tomorrow. Those folks are still coming unless you call and tell them, hold up. So they're coming.
I don't see any reason to cancel it.
Correct. I don't either. So they're gonna come in, they're gonna go back and they're gonna prepare some numbers.
So
But I don't-
we aren't going to advertise because it's sort of dead.
Okay, I don't think that's accurate, however. If you want to continue to have the meeting tomorrow, that's fine. But you have to tell the people that we might be putting it out for formal bid as well.
No, I
They
think
need to
you
understand
killed.
that.
I think it's killed.
Well, I think at this point, we take no action. When
Yeah.
there's a
That's what I'm
5-person
saying.
board present, we vote on it again. And it's gonna go one way or another then. And whether we do that on the 22nd of January, or whether we call a special meeting later this week and have 5 people, I mean, it's not the end of the world.
The other reason why this was pushed out the way it was is Kim was talking of the deadline to get the warning done for town meeting was like January 18th or 15th or whatever that date is.
For
that-
special articles.
For special articles, right.
Yeah.
And that's why this was pushed up to, because I know Joe wanted to get it in, and so that's why this was pushed ahead to start the process. That's why we're at where we're at.
All right, so we'll just table it.
Well,
I just said something, I think Al touched upon, and part of the thing before, about the 2-week delay. I've bid on thousands of contracts, and if somebody gave me 2 extra weeks, which these people you're meeting with tomorrow might get, it's a distinct leg up. As far
No
as
question
I'm
about it.
concerned. You know, it gives me a lot more time to
Well,
research.
they're also the only two. I didn't call them to show up on this date. They're the ones that called me and said, I'm available to look at the project. It originally was 8 o'clock on Monday. It was supposed to, and then he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So we pushed it. So, I mean, it wasn't anything that I had pushed on any individual contractors. They had called me, and I'm sure somebody's going to call and say, can I look at it on Friday? Somebody's going to call up, can I look at it on Monday? It's all how their schedule is going to, work in to look at the project. I don't know how you can control that. You're just going to say that we expect everybody to be there on a certain date. I suppose you could.
But I don't think that's what Stan means. I think what he's saying is that if they all come within this week, and then you're going to advertise it, and then you got a new batch coming, then these first people who came have a distinct advantage over the others.
Well, they don't know what they're gonna bid. It isn't like I'm looking at your
No, but they have more
paperwork.
time.
But they have more time to research product.
I don't think that the size of this project, if a contractor that knows what they're doing took any more than a week to spec out this project, they probably shouldn't be doing that work. That's the way, I mean, this is really, it's expensive, but it's a small project.
So I don't know what's entailed, but I just know that usually if you have more time than you usually have, it's an advantage. That's all I have to say.
Well, so does that means we should not show up tomorrow and not let these guys look at it?
No.
Or what do you
All
want to
right,
say?
I'll go with the no advertising then, if we want to get going.
Well, then you want to make a
Do it.
motion?
Yeah, make a motion.
I'll make the motion
I'll
again.
withdraw the motion that I had.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yes.
Okay. I
So you want to
withdraw
re-vote on the motion, the original motion, which was to forego the
advertising.
advertising, and
Yeah.
then move on with the 6 people that were notified.
that. I don't understand why Stan doesn't want to go without advertising when he set it all up.
No, I want to do the advertising.
Yeah, but
No.
you set it all up, so why didn't you say, no, I can't do it until we advertise? But you went ahead and did it.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table now to proceed with the 6 individuals who were given the bids and to waive the requirement of not advertising for the town hall roof repair. All in favor?
I'm
Aye.
waiting for him to say no.
No.
Cynthia?
I'll say yes.
So we can proceed with the process. Wow, okay.
And if there's any problems, they're all yours.
We can always,
Got big shoulders.
I mean, we can, if you don't like any of the bids, or you don't like any of the situations, you can always rebid the thing.
Right.
And you have that
Well,
option.
the whole board's got this.
So, I mean, you know,
Just me.
whatever. Okay, town administrator. We have received, we have received 3 applications. So at a later date, we'll be going to executive session to discuss the procedure. But we do have 3 active individuals who are applying for the assistant administrator job. So, everybody received them? You got them all? Other business we had.
Can we just back up a little bit? Whatever became of the temporary person that was going to sit in there, is that?
I don't know.
gone?
There was 2 people who had expressed
Yes.
interest, and they were supposed to come in and connect, and somehow we haven't got back to them, or they haven't got back to us, so it's kind of in limbo right now. There were 2 people, Amber and
Charlie.
Charlie, yeah, from the library.
Yeah.
So
Charlie Carter.
that's still a possibility, and we just haven't clicked to get back with the holiday and whatever. So there are still 2 possibilities to.
Because I know Amber is interested.
Right. She was supposed to talk to Kim, and because of, I don't know, there was.
Well, I thought she did.
Well, I don't know if she did or didn't.
Yes, she did.
She
I
did,
thought
fine,
she-
okay, so we'll have to
So
proceed
do we
with that.
do something now? Can we do something tonight about it?
You can, if you'd like to. Which one would you like to do? You want to bring them in, or you want to just pick one, or?
I think it was just a temporary position,
Yeah.
and I know Amber was interested in filling the, it's a couple of weeks, I'm assuming.
I would hope so, but you never know.
So my original thought is just to, if Amber was interested, I mean, she's done multiple things in the town before. I was just thinking we could
I think it'd be,
let her move
So
that
let's,
and
so let's
just-
do that. Let's.
okay, we can appoint Amber.
Appoint Amber to fill in until we hire the official one. She's worked in the town during the flood
Yes.
before, so she has an experience, and she used that, so. Okay, so we'll talk to Amber and get her started this week. if
Do we want
possible.
to take a vote on that?
Yeah, we probably should take a vote. All in favor of having Amber be the temporary, the interim assistant?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right. Do we have motions or just do it without a motion, did we?
You had a motion to do it, to pick Amber.
Who made the motion?
I think I did, or Stan did, either one, Stan did.
Dan.
Okay, we had something else in other business, talking about Stan, you brought it up. It was-
The tile in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, found about that. Cynthia, you have the thing.
Yep.
And she has a schedule. James and James is gonna remove the toilet on the 12th. The carpet in the post office, the new floor will be on the 15th. And then on the 16th, James and James will install the new toilet.
So how much was the flooring?
The flooring is $707.
So did you see it?
That's for in the bathroom.
That's just for the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
plus the.
We got the other one that was $2,600.
Right.
That was for the post office. Right?
Yeah.
The toilet. What's the contractor's cost to remove the toilet and put in the toilet?
I don't know, she hasn't, I don't think this is all just to do with that. You gotta do it, so.
Yeah, I mean, the toilet's a
We
whole
gotta-
toilet. You flush the toilet, it uses 3 gallons of water.
Yeah.
I mean, it's-
Four, probably 5.
So it doesn't, I mean, are we okay with this? I mean, they are renters and
Yep.
whatever, so.
Yep.
All right. Any other business? Any new and follow-up? Not really. Public comment? I did put it on there, but I'm sorry.
Yeah. I realize there's no one doing these administrative things at the moment, but, there was a service for a while where there was an email list sent to the people who.
Correct, and we
About
can't,
notices about meetings.
we
Is
can't
is it
find
too
it.
difficult to
we
maintain that?
can't find it. We don't know where it is.
Oh, you can't find
You
it?
can't find it. The way Emily has set up the system, it's almost impossible. And believe me, Kim and I tried, and we cannot find out where that list is.
I could probably find it in my computer. I don't think I have deleted, because all the recipients were listed. They were not blind copied.
No,
They
I
were listed.
understand that. So if you could forward that to the town, to Emily's, email, because I check it on a daily basis.
Okay,
Then I'll, maybe we can find a file that way, and then you can be back on the
okay.
agenda
Yeah,
situation.
I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, it's gonna take, whoever is the administrator, assistant to take over this position, it's gonna be a nightmare. She never set up anything with folders and whatever, so what we're gonna have to do is get some professional help to get the system where it should be. It's almost impossible to find anything, believe me. I am not a computer expert by any stretch of
Yeah.
imagination, and between Kim and I, we struggle to find anything, so.
All right, thank you.
But I know that that there was a list of people who get the agenda by email. And
Yeah.
we tried, I tried, but
All
we
right.
couldn't find it.
Yeah, so I'll send it to the town admin email address.
Yeah, just send it, because I checked that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I need make something note. Any other public comment? Okay, so we need a motion to go into executive session to discuss the.
Next meeting, just the
Oh.
date of the next meeting.
Next meeting is January 22nd.
Yeah, not February.
Yeah, January 22nd.
And Fred Duplessis from Sullivan Towers will be here to
Yeah, for the
go
audit.
over his financial report.
Yeah, the audit is available if anyone wants to see it at the town.
Have a town board.
Thank you all.
Thank you.